BT Moto back here with another video, and this time we're talking about roll racing and drag racing. You want to be faster than your friend's bike, but you don't want to add any power? I'm going to show you how to do that. And we're going to be showing you how to do that on our 23 BMW S1000RR. These are extremely mild mods. These are mods that you can do at home, and you can actually put the bike completely back to stock. We're not cutting anything up. We're not doing anything crazy. These are basic mods. Now let's go through the things that are important when it comes to roll racing and drag racing. The three big things are going to be weight, suspension, and traction. You got to consider weight a very important factor. So if you're a 250-pound guy and you sit on your bike that's 400 pounds, which is light for a bike, you're 650 pounds now. If you manage to shave the weight down to your bike to 350, you're still at 600 pounds if you're a 250-pound rider, which is a lot of weight. That's why a lot of these roll racers, they'll have jockeys, and these jockeys are 120 pounds soaking wet. They're just wearing a t-shirt, a helmet basically, and some shorts. They try to reduce the weight as much as possible. They even pull the O-rings out of the chain, or they'll try and pull the threads out. They'll even try to pull supporting bolts out. Anything that's weight, they'll throw out of the bike, and they'll get these things down to low 300s with a 100-pound rider. And then you add power on top of that, it goes pretty fast. Power to weight is the name of the game when it comes to this stuff. So when I say weight, shaving weight off is optimal. Now we didn't shave any weight off our 23 S1000RR, and I'm going to go through the parts, and we probably added a little bit of weight just to make this work. And I myself, I'm 190 suited, so it's not exactly the best to make this bike go fast. If there was another rider on the bike that was 110 pounds, much faster than me. Doesn't matter the skill. Like, I could be better at skill than that guy and he could still go right around me just due to the weight factor. I'll never be fast because I'm 190 pounds. I'm tall. It's just, this factors against me here. The problem you're going to run into when you start throwing a bunch of power at a bike and you lower the weight on it, now your tire just comes up all the time. So that's where the suspension comes in and the traction comes in. A lot of people, what they'll do is they'll extend the swing arm. They'll go these 8-inch arms, 6-inch arms, 10-inch arms, so whatever they need to do. Because the bike is so extended now, it doesn't want to wheelie as much because now the back tire is way back there. It takes a lot more for it to wheelie than it would if the wheelbase was a lot shorter. When you push the wheelbase out, less of a need to wheelie, but the problem is when you push out too far, then the tire just starts spinning. So if you're on a 60-mile-per-hour hit and you nail it, that back tire is too far out and too inflated, it'll start blowing the tire off. So you want to make sure the wheelbase is not too far, but not too short. Obviously, you want it longer than stock. Basically, you want a happy medium between the tire pressure, how far the wheelbase is, and how low the bike is. And we want to make sure the front of the bike is at a rake, so that's why on the 23 S1000RR we put front strap kit on it. There will be some trial and error. So when we baselined our 23 S1000RR, we noticed we got a top speed of 188 miles per hour, even though the combi was indicating 192 plus. Don't always go off the combi, it's not exactly accurate. GPS is going to be accurate.
All right, so I'm here with the 2023. It's a little bit wet right now, so we're gonna try to do these 60 through 130s fast. So let's get going. 60 through 130, a little bit of rain, but here we go. We're gonna do it big.
Our 60 through 130 was a 4.2 second. That's respectable for a bike that has some modifications, but no suspension, no lowering, no nothing. Then I went to lease cycle and we did a few more modifications to get this bike even faster. After we got the bike back, it was time to go back, check that 60 through 130, which is now a 4-second flat.
Let's see what the top speed is. Trust the tire too much right now.
To shave 0.2 seconds off of that from a real basic hit. Good data. and we got the top speed even higher to 194 miles per hour. But that wasn't good enough because it was topping out in 5th gear, couldn't even click into 6th. It was kind of stuck on the RPM. So we wanted to get a little more RPM out of it based on the weight of the bike, me. There's going to be some adjusting involved. So we went back to Lead Cycle and swapped it for a 44 tooth, or swapped out that 42 tooth to a 44 tooth sprocket.
So I'm taking this thing to get the tire changed out because the tire's a little bit flat spotted. It's not hooking up so well, and I'll show you guys here in a second exactly what I mean. It's just kind of spinning, even though there's no stretch on this bike. So we turn the traction control completely off here so you guys can see. Now normally in a racing situation, straight line or even turning, you want the tire to hook up a little bit better. And I've only got 35 PSI in this tire right now. So check this out. Yep, that left a big black streak on the road. So with the flash, I can make this bike go, just with the flash, 188 miles an hour. And why only 188? Because I'm smashing the limiter in 6th gear. Well, it's gear limited, meaning the 17 tooth in the front and the 46 tooth in the rear that comes stock in the 23 and 24 S1000RR is gear limited to 188 miles per hour. And if you do a sprocket swap on this, and I went to a 42 tooth sprocket in the rear. Now a 42 tooth is way too long geared. I guessed way wrong on that. And the way it's geared right now, it indicates 200 in the Speedo with our unlock. The problem is it's only reading 194 on GPS, and it's geared out to about the top of 5th gear. I can't really see the top of 5th gear. It kind of hits a wall there, or I need so much runway that it's just too much real estate basically. So what I'm going to need to do here is change out the sprocket. I'm going to a 42 tooth. I'm putting a new tire on, so I can't just do rolling burnouts every 5 seconds on this thing, even though it's cool. I want a tire that grips a little bit better, something I can trust a little more. So here it is. This is the 44 tooth right here. You can see right there. It's by JT Sprockets, and we had the super light on here before. We're swapping out that 44 for the 42, and then getting rid of this tire that, as we saw, was balding and not really gripping well. Over here at Lead Cycle in San Diego, this is our dealer. They actually have a tire machine because I don't have one. If I did, I would just do all this at home, but they got a tire machine here, so we're gonna go with them. So easy, that pulls right out. There's the whole sprocket right there. While you have the tire off, usually a good idea is to check your push drives right there, see if they're split or anything. If they are, you just get a new set from BMW. The way you tell if they're kind of done is the tire has extra movement. It'll have a little bit of movement in it regardless. It'll have like a little like movement in the tire back and forth regardless, but if it has too much movement, it's usually these are the culprit right here. All you have to do is remove these bolts right here, put the new sprocket on, put that back in the tire, put the tire back on. That's how easy it is. It's super easy to change sprockets, guys. Here's our new tire right here. Dunlop Q5. 255/17, same as stock size, but I'll compare them right to side so you guys can see exactly the height difference we're talking about here and why the Speedo tends to be off all the time, just to a certain degree, because the tire gets smaller or larger depending on how much wear there is or what kind of tires you go with. Now, if you do have carbon wheels, I do suggest you go with someone that knows what they're doing, because yeah, you scratch these things, are kind of screwed for life, basically. They aren't really easily fixable. There it is, the wheel is off. So here's a height comparison right here so you guys can see. There's probably about a ½ inch right there difference, and that's actually pretty big on these bikes. The ½ inch in difference there, Jody actually told me, Jody right here. It's about a tooth sprocket in difference just in that. So you can imagine how that would mess your not your GPS, but your Speedo results up. And we're all done mounting the tire. Now we're gonna go ahead and get this thing balanced real quick. All right, now she's all balanced.
right, sliding this boy back on. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna break the stock chain here, which is the M Endurance chain, and I actually have, this is a M1000XR M Endurance chain. So only difference here is that this chain, still a 525 pitch, just like the OEM one and everything. I'm keeping that together, but this one has a lot more links on it, so it's able to get the tire back in the arm while keeping that stock look to it and getting a good chain back on there again. And of course, the BMW Master Link right here as well. All right, now he looks like he shaved off a couple of nubs there, which we can pry off one of these links, and then take the chain off, put the new chain on, and put the new Master Link on. Real easy process. It's a long chain. There we go. That's the process. Roll it on, roll it off. I got the old chain, which we're gonna keep. Nothing wrong with it. And now we're able to stretch this thing back as far as she'll go. All right, you can see right there, we got it in there. Can't really tell which one it was, but it was this one right here. Looks good. It's a special tool you gotta use to hammer this thing on. It doesn't really mushroom out like the typical ones do. This one you gotta hammer on. It's a special tool to use. And now we can see how much we got this back. You can see right there, the original marking right about there. Stretched all the way back. It's well over, that's probably like 1.5 inches right there. We just got this thing back. All right, so now we're at 58.5 inches from center of axle to center of axle. Looking good.
All right, we're all set. Let's get out of here. All right, so we are ready for some top speed runs. I'll fast forward to this weekend. All right, so I'm back, and this bike looks insanely aggressive now with it lowered, and it's just lowered 1 inch. I could have lowered this thing 2 inches if I wanted to, but just the basic 1 inch lowering, which barely compromises pretty much anything, just the amount of total lean angle, basically. It still feels extremely stable. Let me see here if I can get a good warm up on this tire. Doesn't even need it. Wow, hooks right up. Insane. I love it. So I'm gonna make my way over to the spot here. We got the 44 tooth on the bike. Bike is lowered, ready for its pass. I got drag gear, I got GPS on the GoPro itself as well, along with the Speedo. So let's see how accurate all three of the things are here with the 44 tooth and a new tire. There we go, we are ready. So let's do this. Bike on, traction control completely off. And we are good to go.
To Sprocket, we went back on the road. Notice we went up to 197 miles per hour on the top speed and a 3.8 second 60 through 130, as well as a 3.8 second 100 through 150. Now that's quick. Now I knew it was time to call my friend IMK. He has a beautiful 21 M1000RR that has our modifications on it, so we can see a modified bike with stock suspension, stock wheelbase, stock everything, versus our bike that's modded.
Going light to light with different bikes now. Really much of a competition when you've got this kind of gearing on a bike, and it's a stock bike, stock gearing. Those apes are incredibly fast too. Incredibly fast. right, just riding out here with Kay. See if we can get some fun runs in here to show you guys the difference between stretched versus stock. This is stock 46 he has, stock wheelbase. You can see he's not back on the arm very far at all. Everything's stock. It's a little group of bikes. Here we go. Here we go. Go. So you can see there, I give him the hit, he takes off, and the low gears on top end, I start eating him up. That's just how this works for a roll racing scenario. He at the bottom end, he has all this power, where he can barely keep the tire down, and now I have legs up top because I have so wide of gearing on this thing. I can just lay into second gear and just let it eat. Whereas he's got to worry about the tire coming up the entire time because of his wheelbase and because of his sprocket setting on the 46. So in reality here, that setup is awesome for a track. If we were at like Willow Springs, Buttonwillow, Chuckwalla, he would eat me up on a track, destroy me. When it comes to straight line stuff, there is no touching a bike like this. Me and that Aprilia plus K, those are bikes that have a lot of power, should be a lot closer than it is, and it isn't touching this bike. Beautiful, beautiful views. My God. Look how gorgeous this view is. Look at that view, man.
You can see our S1000RR was destroying everything. While those guys were having trouble keeping the tire down, I was going right past them, nice and flat. And the best part about it, if you wanted to switch it back, just a couple hours. Now, this bike isn't the end-all be-all. If you see a real roll race guy that has a extended swing arm, he has a whole bunch of other stuff, he's deleting weight off the bike, you're probably gonna get ran through pretty big. I'm gonna be honest with you. But this is good for pretty much any other bike on the road, and it's so unsuspecting. The best way to do this is push the tire back on the stock wheelbase as far as possible. You'll get a couple inches out of that, and that couple inches is massive. Couple that with lowering the bike down at least an inch. I would recommend an inch because there's no cutting involved, and using our front strap kit that pushes the bike down there. Then we're deleting the mirrors with our mirror block-off kit. We're deleting the wings with our wing block-off kit, which those wings provide downforce, which means it's providing weight to the motorcycle at a certain speed. And when you're getting high speeds like 180 plus, it does make a difference on the bike to make sure that downforce is off the bike, because you don't need it at that point. You just need to make sure you're going straight and fast. And we got that 44 tooth sprocket on there. All right, so I think that's gonna do it for the racing portion of this. Now let's talk about how to get that combi over 200 miles per hour, because I know you guys want this, and you guys have been asking for it forever. Let's get into it. Okay, you got your Beamer Utility app open. If you don't know how to use the Beamer Utility tool right there and how to get this connected, I do have a tutorial video, very easy, step by step. I go through the entire thing, check our playlist. We have a million coding videos. This one is just for the Speedo Advanced though. So once you get into the Beamer Utility app and it's open, it's connected to the bike, you're gonna click on Combi. And then we're gonna go here and type in Speedo Advance. And we're going to go to Speedo Advance, right there. Speedo, not authority, sorry. We're going to go to Speedo Advance Value. And Speedo Advance Value 4, right there. So Advanced Speedo Display Value 4, right there. Then we're going to click on this, and then you're going to click from, I believe it starts at 250. Your bike should be at 250 kilometers per hour, maybe 260, whatever. Click custom value, and when you click custom value, type in 0, 1 and 7, 0. So let me do this again. So 0, 1, and then right here instead of FE, we're gonna go 7, 0. 7, 0, right there. And then we're done, done. Then all you have to do from here is click code, and then your combi is gonna read over 200 miles per hour. Now here's the kicker, guys. This isn't just the only thing you have to do. You also have to have a BT Moto flash. So The reason being is because there's limiters in the ECU, and I'm pointing here because the BMW ECU is here. There's limiters in this ECU that have to be removed, and I don't know of anyone except for us that's actually doing this on their flashes. We've been doing it silently for quite a long time now, and we've just now figured out the combi coating right there. And so the combi coating that we just did mixed with this turns into 200 plus miles per hour on the Speedo. Now, the value I put in there, 0170, can be changed to quite a few values. Right now, that's the best we've found. It's about, 5% off, like a normal percentage off of a normal thing. So you see 200 there. It's likely, I saw, actually it's probably a couple percent only, depending on your tire size and things like that, to be honest with you. So you can actually play around with those numbers if you know hex coding. If you know how to do it, you can actually play with those values and actually change how it displays and what speed it's displaying depending on wheel speed value. So there's quite a few ways to do it, but that one's easy. Shows you 200 miles per hour on the combi there. If you have it set up with a 42 to 44 2 sprocket with a OEM 190, 200, 55 higher tire height, you should be displaying 200 miles per hour. And that's gonna do it for the 200 mile per hour video that you guys have all been waiting for. I know it's easy to do this coding here. If you guys don't have a BT Moto flash, sorry, maybe get one, or if you don't have one, ask your tuner if they're able to do this kind of stuff for taking the limiters off the ECU, because that's required, both of these, to make that work. And that's the reason why most people haven't done this yet, or haven't unlocked it properly yet, is because there also needs to be ECU stuff done as well. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any suggestions for new videos, please leave in the comment section. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.